Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, we have this here where Nancy Mace is a based individual. She is a person that we should all respect and admire because she is pretty much saying that men are not allowed in women's bathrooms. I mean, this is kind of self-explanatory. I mean, I don't understand what's wrong with people, but yeah. But apparently, a insane person, a trans individual, is raging against Nancy Mace and saying that is threatening her life over the whole bill and the situation. So let's go over it. So we have this here. Incoming Dem trans representative Sarah McBride rages against GOP Nancy Mace's bill to keep males out of women's congressional bathrooms. Goes on to say here that Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina doesn't want to share women's bathrooms with men, introduced on Monday a bill that would ban biological males from using women's bathrooms in the U.S. Capitol. Incoming Representative Sarah McBride of Delaware claimed that Mace's bill is an attempt from far right extremists to distract from the fact that they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. And what are the real issues that Americans are facing? Because right now what we're facing are economic issues and horrible illegal immigration that's in our country. Those are the biggest things that we have right now. Trans people are not high on the list, and I think that you are the insane one. But it's likely that McBride, the first trans representative heading to the House, has more personal perspective. If Mace's proposal goes through, McBride would have to use a men's bathroom. Yeah, so I don't see a problem with that. If you're a man, you should probably use the men's bathroom. It's not just probably, you definitely should. Playing make-believe dress up doesn't mean you should be allowed in women's private spaces. That's what she said. The bill would prevent any male with any job from using spaces that were designated for women. Under the Biden-Harris administration, the word woman was brought in to mean either females or men who said they were women. The incoming Trump-Vance administration has vowed to reverse the logistic confusion, and Mace would like to get a head start with correctional bathrooms. The ban on women's spaces would have to be enforced by the House Secretary at Arms, William McFarland. The Hill reports noted that it is unclear how the House's chief law enforcement officer would determine who can and cannot use the Capitol's facilities. Mace is looking for the provision to be included in the rules package for the 119th Congress, in which the GOP will maintain a slim majority. It goes on to say, in response to Mace, the McBride attempted to deflect from the trans issue and make the bathroom thing about everyone. Every day, Americans go to work with people who have life journeys different than their own and engage with them respectively. I hope members of Congress can muster that same kindness. This is a blatant attempt from the far-right extremists to blah, blah, blah. We already heard that. So that's what she's going to say. And this is what Nancy Mace had to say in this part here, right?
Can you define what a woman is?
A woman is a person who says she is. And let me just tell you one story about this, because when I was a child...
No, you're not going to tell me a story. We're not doing that right now. It's not story time.
Yeah, it is story time, because when I was a child, I was
No, it's not. I'm going to reclaim my
boy.
time. Be quiet. I'm going to reclaim my time right now. Biological women are real women. A guy born as a man who wants to pretend to be a woman and put him in his big gym and the twins in the locker room with underage girls, or his little gym and twins, by the way, is disgusting. I have a daughter. She turned 14 last year. I took her to a store called Aerie for her birthday. We went shopping for an hour in downtown Charleston, South Carolina. She was taken to her dressing room by a biological male in a miniskirt and a lace bralette. It is disgusting. I have no idea if that man was over 18 or under 18. It is absolutely disgusting that we're redefining what women are and allowing men into women's private spaces. And by the way, Miss Wiley, I am a survivor of rape. I was raped at the age of 16. I am not going to put other women and girls into unsafe situations where biological men, with their willy-nillys out, putting women and girls at risk. It's absurd. It's disgusting.
I would 100% agree, and I did not know that she was actually raped, and I feel absolutely horrible for her in that case, right? I feel absolutely horrible. No woman should have to go through that. No man should have to go through that. Nobody should have to go through that. And the fact that these Democrats, these far leftists, do not care on what happens to these children is insane to me. Because it's not just the women that suffer for this, it's also the children that have to suffer from this. It's the children that have to deal with this insanity that has been going on. And of course, we have this here. Again, from the Post-Millennial, saying, Salem Dems vow to primary Rep. Seth Moulton for objecting to men competing in women's sports. The Democrats are doing this. So, the Democrats want men to be in women's sports for some god-apparent reason. And why is that? Because there is no other way that we can say that a man should be in a women's sports, because the only other way is that there are going to that they're going to do something horrible to them, right? But that's pretty much what we would be assuming. Let's add this to another thing as well. Remember the video that I made back yesterday, or a couple of days ago actually, where essentially the person that ended up the woman that ended up killing her father over the election, that person, her boyfriend or girlfriend, was still attracted to females. This person still dated a female. So these trans people don't even have a difference in actual what they like. Normally, they'll still like the female anatomy, they still like the female figure, they still like females or interested in females. So their actual view on who they're attracted to doesn't change. This is the problem that we have. So we want to allow these people to go into women's bathrooms where they're still attracted to them, but they're just putting on a skirt. Or they call themselves woman and they're just allowed to go in. That's the insanity here. And of course, we have this from Speaker Michael Johnson saying, just said the most savage thing he's ever said. Let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And a man cannot become a woman. This is what happens to say here.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts. Hello, everybody.
So there you go. And then we have this here from Sarah Rose. Just made this ABC reporter rethink his entire career when he approached her about the new trans Congress member using the women's bathrooms.
Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
And it doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%.
But should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I am not going to stand for it. And the Speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker.
End of story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. And I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Congresswoman,
Thank you, Congresswoman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira. So a little bit of the...
Absolutely smoked that ABC reporter. Absolutely smoked him. And that is true, because we cannot stand for this insanity. We cannot stand for the ludicrously or the insanity that we have here. And what we have here is this trans activist is now openly posting death threats against Representative Nancy Mace. It says, this Representative Venus I'm not even going to say the end of that word. It says, prepare to die. And I don't know about you. And it says Representative Nancy Mace. That's the trans individual at name here. And then we have this here. This lunatic individual saying, insane, unhinged LGBTQ activist wants to find Representative Nancy Mace in the women's bathroom to bash her face on the floor and end her.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
Yeah, so this is showing the actual insanity of the far left, right? This is what they go. They are going to threaten a representative of Congress, by the way, of doing something horrendous to her, all right? I don't know about you, but this is unhinged. This is insanity. These are the people that are supposed to be, we love you, we care about you. Right. You don't really care about anyone. Because when they go against their thing, you go insane. And by the way, here's another thing. I would not trust this person anywhere near a female whatsoever because this guy looks unhinged and looks like he would do something horrific to them if he was allowed to go into their bathroom. This is the insanity that we have here. And you can't tell me this is not a guy because his voice is deeper than mine. All right? His voice is deeper than mine. So if you're going to go and say, oh, no, that's the guy I feel. No. That's a guy. His voice is freaking deeper than a freaking tractor roaring at night. So I don't care what anybody says. This is the insanity that we have here, right? This is insanity. So, yeah, she's getting death threats now because these people are insane. And I agree with everything with her, right? We cannot allow this insanity to continue. We have to change course. We got to change where it's going. And the fact that we have this here is showing on how insane and how out of touch these people are. And we'll see how this goes. We're starting to heal, and the woke left are getting more and more deranged, and it's not looking good for them. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.